All right, aloha. How's everybody doing? Uh, Good to see you. Good to be seen. I'm grateful for you coming here and going through this Transcendence themed series. This is the second one of the series, and it's going to be called Here, Spaciousness. And the idea for this one is to focus on the here range of the sensory experience of what we hear inside and what we hear outside, but not necessarily focusing on all the various aspects that arise within that experience, but within the space that we hear. If that makes any sense. There's a spatial quality to what we and where we hear. We hear noises off here, off there, over there. Um, and it's this kind of spatial, 360 spatial awareness that we have going on of space, of the space that that hearing quality happens within. So that's where we're going to be focusing, inside and out. All right. So once again, thanks for joining. And don't worry if you haven't done any of the other videos from the series. They can be done pretty much in any order. But what we're doing right now is we're doing See Spaciousness was the first video. Here, Spaciousness is our second video we're doing now, and then we'll do Feel Spaciousness. And then we'll continue on to a couple other Transcendence themed practices, and then we'll see how we can kind of meld them all together into one great practice. So aloha, see you on the other side. All right, let's get started with Here Spaciousness. With that, I invite you to stretch up, settle in, maybe take a deep breath or two as we get started. And if you're comfortable with it, I'd invite you to go ahead and close your eyes at this time. If not, you can always just do a gentle kind of defocused gaze forward. All right, let's go ahead and close our eyes then. And like I said, we'll just take a few deep breaths to settle in. At whatever pace works for you. Each time, just trying to relax a little bit more from your tip of your head down to your neck, shoulders, and your whole body, just kind of trying to relax into your chair and get settled. And today's focus range is going to be the sensory experience of hear. So we can start with the external hear, that which we hear externally, the noises out and around us. And we're focusing on the spacious quality of hearing, or you can think of it as the space in which hearing happens. So, for example, we can listen intently to see what we hear. But what if there's nothing to hear and it's just silence? But we're still focusing our attention onto listening, into the hear sensory category. So that is a restful quality in the space of here. Or if there are noises, there's kind of a disbursement of where the noises emanate from. All different points out in that space, that hearing space. So we're trying to open up our attention to just what we hear but the entire space range, or the entire range of the space within which we hear. And various noises will come and go, or maybe be consistent anywhere out, in front of you, behind you, off in the distance, close by. But we're not dialing in on any particular noise as it arises. In fact, we're thinning out our attention to the entire field of hearing so that anything we do hear can just come and go with equanimity as we focus on the whole space of hearing. And if you find yourself tensing up or straining to try and spread that attention all the way out, maybe try the opposite of resting or relaxing out into that spatial quality. And just letting go out into that open space within which the sensory experience of hearing arises. Good. Good job. All right. I invite you now to turn that attention to the herein. And that's just where we hear our inner dialogue or thoughts arise if they're abstract, or songs, or music, anything that arises internally that we would hear will fall into that category. But just like we did with the external component, there's an internal component, a spatial aspect to listening internally. Your inner dialogue might seem to arise from a particular location, the back of your head, or the front, or the middle, or from the heart. All that is that space within which we hear. We're just trying to kind of release our intention into all that internal hearing space. So if we do have a thought or song, an internal thing that we hear, we can notice it, but we just allow it to come and go. We rest into the space within which it arises and dissipates. And if distractions arise as it happens, whether it's external distractions, internal distractions, aches and pains, noises, lost in thought, we just recognize when it happens and then just go back to the here in space and just try and release our attention, spread it wide and thin out to that hearing space. Hearing from all directions at once, internal, external. To where no single event grabs our attention, but it's all just kind of happening, coming and going within that range of hearing. We're going to start to wrap it up now. This has been Here Spaciousness. Hopefully we've been able to get a flavor for the range and the field in which we hear and allowed our attention to spread out and thin out over the whole range in which we hear. And with that, we'll end it there. I invite you to open your eyes if they were closed. That was Here Spaciousness. Second video, technique video on our Transcendence series. All right. And we're going somewhere with this. We'll patch it all together here in maybe another 3 to 4 videos, depending on how long it takes me to get through each bit. So I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Mahalo.